LFCS parents. Hope you guys have had a great week. It's once again Thursday, so here we are again with another Thursday Thoughts. As usual, things are hectic and busy around here, but always in a good way. We've got lots of things going on. I feel like at this point, my life is just one perpetual meeting. I've had tons of meetings this week, but they've all been productive. They've all been good, moving us forward, and I'm looking forward to see where God takes us in the very near future. Speaking of which, we do have things coming up, lots of events taking place here on campus. First of all, tomorrow, we're celebrating Read Across America with all of our elementary students. We've got various events going on for the kids, things like reading parties. They've also roped me into reading some Dr. Seuss books. Apparently it was Dr. Seuss's birthday this week, so we're reading some Dr. Seuss books to the kids. We want to encourage them to read. Reading is important. Reading is the number one way most people learn throughout their lives. So we want to encourage reading. We want the kids to enjoy reading. So that we're celebrating Read Across America tomorrow with all the elementary kids. And then next week we've got the Exploratorium. That's for all of our students. So I hope you guys are signed up for that. Hope your kids are going. Hope some of you parents are going with us as well to help drive. It's a great venue. There's something for every age group, from the young kids all the way up to the older kids. Lots of hands-on things. They can get their hands on, play around with. There's lots of demonstrations they can watch as well. I know the cow eye dissection is always very popular with many of the kids. So there's lots of things going on, lots of things to experience. I can't wait for that. Just remember, if your kids are not going to the Exploratorium on March 9th, that there is no school that day. There will not be anybody here. So in order to get that as an excused absence, they need to turn in their permission slip and write that you need to mark on there that your child is not going. But again, if your child is not going to the Exploratorium, there's no school that day. All right, and then at the end of the month, we've got our spring formal. That's for our high school kids. So I know a lot of the kids are looking forward to that. They're already talking about what they're going to wear and all that sort of stuff. I want you guys to know that tickets are on sale for that here in the school office. They're $40 per person. If one of our students is bringing someone who is not an FCS student, first of all, they can buy 2 tickets for $70. Again, if their date is not an FCS student. But also, if their date is not an FCS student, that person needs to meet with me before the event. Anytime we have a school event like this, and especially in a situation like this where it's a spring formal, we want to meet that person and know who they are before we get to that event. It's just a chance to meet that person, build a little bit of a relationship before we get into a situation at an event like that. All right, and then the very next week, for our seniors, we actually have our senior trip. Permission slips are going out today for the senior trip. We're going to be heading down to Magic Mountain. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll kind of drive overnight, get some breakfast, go to the park, spend all day at Magic Mountain. Then we're going to head to a church, spend the night at a church, and then drive back the next morning. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, kind of. It makes for a long couple days. That's going to be April 6th and 7th. So again, we're looking forward to that. I've gone on the last several senior trips with the seniors, and quite honestly, I've had a great time. These are great kids. This is their last chance together as high school students, as a group. It's like one of the last big events they're going to do together. So they wanted a chance to hang out and have fun together one last time, and I'm more than happy to oblige them in that and give them this opportunity to have a good time. They've done a lot of hard work over the last 13 years, from kindergarten all the way through, preparing for this graduation time. So it's time for those senior students to celebrate a little bit and get a little bit of a reward for all the hard work that they have done. All right, just one more thing I want to talk to you guys about. And one of the things as a principal that's important to me is setting and maintaining the proper culture here on our campus. And obviously, being a Christian school, we want all of that to be biblically based. Having said that, we do have kids on this campus. They are, especially the teenagers, sometimes they can make decisions that aren't the best decisions. Sometimes things happen that aren't great. We try to counsel them in that. We try to correct them and discipline them in that. We want to make things so that they are walking in the right way. They are following God's commands and God's principles that He's laid out in His Word. We want to make sure that, again, we have a proper culture and environment here on campus. The important part of that is our speech and the way that we talk. And it seems that we've had a few students here on campus whose speech has not always been appropriate, and it's come up with several different students in several different situations. And as a teacher to you as parents, I just want you to encourage your kids to make sure that they are using their mouth and their tongue in the proper way. The Bible has a lot to say about our tongue and the way that it's used. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And obviously there's several other proverbs that talk about the tongue as well. James chapter 1 verse 26 says, if anyone thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. And there are many other verses as well that talk about the tongue, but we need to take our tongue captive. There is power in the words that we speak. And I'm trying to educate the students on that. I'm trying to let them know about that. There's power in the words we speak, power for good and power for evil as well. And we want to make sure we're using our power, our words, for good and not evil. I've had to talk to several students about their use of language recently, and quite honestly, I need to protect the students here on campus. I've gone through the process of warning all the students. In fact, I'm continuing to do that this week. But it comes to a certain point, if it starts to get to a point where I think it is starting to negatively affect the environment or culture or atmosphere here on campus, I'm going to have to start removing some students from the environment, starting with suspensions. And I don't like to go that route, but that is, I'm warning all the students. I need to protect the culture here on campus. So I'm asking you as parents, please talk to your kids about that as well. Talk to your kids about the power of their tongue, the power of the words that they say. I know that in my own life, looking back, I can remember certain things that people said to me a long time ago, both positively and negatively. I know that I had a teacher when I was in middle school who saw value in me and told me that I was a unique individual and that I had great potential and great worth. And that really stuck with me for a long time. And I was at a point as a middle school student, you've all been there, it's an awkward time, a lot of things changing. And I know that teacher speaking to me, giving me positive words and affirmation really helped propel me through not only middle school, but the rest of my educational career as well. But conversely, I had certain people in my life speak negativity to me, speak negative words to me, talk down to me, use words directed at me that really hurt me and really, in some ways, neutered certain aspects of my life and hindered me from moving forward in a positive way. And I know for all these students, and certainly people mess up sometimes. People slip, say a word they shouldn't. That's not the kind of language I'm concerned about. People have an occasional slip up. I'm willing to show grace and forgiveness for that. What I'm talking about is people who continually and habitually use negative language around people. That's what we're trying to curb and trying to squash in terms of our culture and environment here on campus. So as parents, I'm asking you to help me with that. Talk to your students about their words. Talk to them about their language. Joking around, even in jokes, as you've probably heard before, there's a little bit of truth in jokes that people tell. And even joking around with some people sometimes can hurt them in the wrong way. Talk to your kids about their words. Talk to them about their speech and how that can affect other people. All right, if you guys can help me do that, I think we can really make this environment, this culture here on campus, a great place for all students to be. Because that's my goal. I want to protect all students that are here on our campus, not just physically, but also spiritually, emotionally, and socially. I want everyone to be here in a nice, safe environment where they can be edified and affirmed and lifted up and strengthened, and that's the type of culture and environment that I want here on campus. All right, so I'll kind of leave you with that. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope to see many of you on the trip to the Exploratorium. I know many of you are driving. It'll be a great time on March 9th as we head down there. So I'll see many of you then. God bless.